are going to be, you're going to have information about City Year. You're going to learn how to schedule and get prepared for your interview and what to expect next. And then next,
so I'm going to go over the City Year overview. So my name is Lindsay Miller, and I'm the Service Year Advisor for Memphis and Miami. And we will go ahead and go through. First up, we're going to watch a short video. It's going to kind of give you an idea of what it's like to be a City Year AmeriCorps member.
A Corps member needs to have passion and love, to have caring and the willingness to be consistent, no matter what the circumstances may bring for some of our students.
We have a lot of kids who do face barriers.
sorry about that.
That near-peer Corps member from City Year has always been a constant in our students' lives.
The culture in this building has shifted just because we have City Year here, and they're not just a statue in the building. They are actually in this building, and they're working, and they're making students feel like they belong.
The passion that City Year has for helping students, that's just such a great way to help and impact children.
To be there after school and during the day, have the communication and the conversation with the kid, understand their life, that changes not only the culture of the school and the development of a child, but the overall atmosphere of what is needed to achieve in a classroom.
I've learned a lot from City Year, academically, socially, a lot.
I have students who will tell me that I have made an impact on them. They always remind me why I'm working here.
Awesome. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight. Moving on, I wanted to kind of share with you some things that will be very important to you and will help you out during your interview with information that you basically need to know if you're going to be serving with City Year. So while you're serving, you're going to be serving on a diverse team. Usually there's around 6 to 12 team members. You'll be working at one school. So don't think that if you join City Year, you're going to be going to multiple schools. You'll be at one school serving with your team. Typically, you'll have an impact manager and a team leader, maybe a second-year member on your team. So you'll have some people there to help you out throughout your day. You're going to be preparing students with the social, emotional, and academic skills to succeed. You're going to be managing relationships with teammates, school staff, students, families, and the school district. So it's a lot more than just helping the students. It's a lot about building relationships with the school staff, your different team partners, and things like that. So there's a lot of different relationship building, as well as helping the students succeed in their school. All right, so City Year did a lot of research, and they realized that there were 3 factors that helped us decide when a student was going to drop out. These are called the early warning indicators. That is attendance, behavior, and course performance. When you come and you serve with City Year, those are the things that you're going to be focusing on throughout your day. So when you get your focus list students, you're going to be focusing on their attendance. So one, you want to make sure that your students are actually coming to school, whether that be virtual or in person. Hopefully by the time you all start with us, we'll be back in school and we won't have to worry about COVID and things like that, but we don't know. So we're preparing for both ways. You're going to be focusing on their behavior. So we want to make sure that our students are active and they're not just sitting quiet in the corner. You want to make sure that they're, asking questions, being involved. And you also want to, think of it as like a mental aspect as well. So when you're thinking about behavior, you want to make sure that they're okay, physically and mentally. And then you're also going to be focusing on their course performance. So think of these as your ABCs. And that is something that you'll want to focus on. And that's what we focus on here at City Year. So we can move forward. All right, so I'm not going to read all of these out, but these are a lot of different things that you're going to be doing throughout your service. I wouldn't say a day. That would be a lot to do during a day, but just think about this. This is a lot of different things that you're going to be doing. You could be event planning. So for instance, when I served, because I did serve in Jacksonville, Florida, I had to plan an event to recognize the custodians. And then some of my other teammates had to, we had like a principal's recognition day and things like that. So I had to event plan. I had to do tutoring sessions. Obviously, LACY planning, that's life after city year. So we're not only concerned about you doing during your year, we're also concerned about you after your year. We want to make sure that you're good during your year of service and after your year of service. So read through those, and there's a lot of different things on there that you're going to be learning throughout your whole city year. And then we'll pass it back to Carly.
Neil, so we're going to talk some interview tips and tricks to help you all feel comfortable and get prepared for your interview. Before we move forward, I wanted to pause to see if anyone has any questions. If you wouldn't mind throwing those into the chat, the different service year advisors, we have a few on the call that will be helping answer some questions and things like that. We will have time at the end for like large group question and answer, but I just don't want any of your questions to get forgotten or get lost. So if you want to just type them into the chat, that'd be super helpful. All right. So moving forward, here's some interview tips. So knowing the why, the city or mission and the AmeriCorps role, which we just kind of went over, but also your why. Why do you want to serve? What drew you to city year? Whatever that looks like, there's no right or wrong answer. But thinking through what do you want to get out of this and why do you want to be a part of this organization? Being on time, so 45 to 60-minute interview, which will be only on phone. It won't be on Microsoft Teams. So that your interviewer will call you at your assigned time, and then you'll just have your phone interview. They usually don't last the whole 60 minutes. It just is really dependent on how many questions you have and things like that, but there is an allotted 60 minutes so that you feel comfortable to ask the questions that you have. Don't feel like you can't say anything because you don't want to take up people's time. Highlight your experience with kids, so grades 3 through 9. This looks different depending on who you are. This may be professional. You may have worked for a YMCA summer camp or something as that. And this could be something as you worked with your siblings on their homework every day after school, or you helped babysit your neighbors and you did tutoring and different things of that. So it doesn't have to necessarily be only what happened in the professional setting. It can also be things that were in your personal life. Think about who you are when you're working as a team. So what do you bring to the table? What type of team player are you? Are you the leader? Are you the one that like rallies the troops? Like who are you on that team and what role do you play? Identify areas that you want to improve and skills you want to build on. So city year is a year of giving back to communities and supporting different neighborhoods and different schools. It's also a year for you to gain a lot of professional development and professional growth and grow in the areas that you want to. So really thinking through what do you want to get out of this year as well, and bringing that information to the interview. There's no right or wrong answer here, but just doing a little bit of reflection of what do you want to get out of this would be really beneficial. And enjoy yourself and smile. It seems silly. It really does seem silly to smile while you're on the phone, but your tone and the way you speak when you smile sounds so much different than when you're not. And I'm sure you've heard many times when you're doing phone interviews to wear something nice just to get yourself in that mindset of being in an interview. When you're in an interview in person, you would smile and little laughs here and there. Doing those same things on the interview will be very important as well. All right, so we're going to go over what we call the STAR method, and some of you may have learned about this before, but we're just going to kind of touch on it again. So the STAR method is situation, task, action, and results. So situation is going to be describing an overview of the situation, talking about the task, describing the action that you took, and the positive results. So quantifying that if possible. Can I get someone, a lucky somebody, to read this short paragraph for me so y'all don't have to listen to me talk nonstop?
I'll go.
Awesome, thank you.
Oh, hold on. Let me start my video. There we go. Okay. I think my communication skills make me an effective leader and moderator. For example, once I was working on a team project and 2 of the team members got in an argument. We each had to complete assignments for our portion of the project, and they were refusing to complete their assignments. They were both dissatisfied with their workloads, so I arranged a team meeting where we arranged assignments for the team. This made everyone happier and more productive, and we were able to complete the project well before the deadline. It turned out to be a success.
Awesome, thank you so much. So looking at this, we're going to kind of break it into different parts and pieces. This would be if the question was like, tell me about working on a team. Tell me about an experience working on a team. And then you went into this. So, sorry, my computer is not working. here we go. The green is supposed to go with action, and I apologize for that. So the blue is going to be situation. So the situation is I was working on a team project. The task is going to be we each had to complete assignments for a portion. The action that you took. So what did you do to either like fix a problem or just what was the action in general? If there was no problem, what did you do? Like we worked really hard and we met 10 times in 2 weeks and got our assignment done. Like, that's what you did. So this is going to be, I arranged a team meeting where we rearrange the assignments for the team. And then the positive result is going to be made everyone happier and more productive. We're able to complete the project well before the deadline. So this is just a way to think about asking or to talk about the situational tasks, which can be sometimes challenging when you're in the middle of an interview. And they may ask you a simple question like, I don't know, how do you work on a team, or what, like those types of questions. And it can be easy to give a broad general answer, but this is looking more like very specific, which is what city or interviewers are looking for in those questions that they're asking you. Cool beans. So next we're going to talk about the city competencies. So this is going to be the 6 main things that we look for in successful core members and people who really just make it through the program. The interview questions won't like be so specific and ask you about these things, but they're all like centered around these themes. So we have commitment to a cause greater than self, which is aligning actions to clearly articulate a purpose to serve. So why are you serving? Kind of I told you earlier to think about your why. Growth mindset, so embracing feedback and seeking out opportunities for growth and development. Cultural empathy, so taking action to understand and empathize with people across cultures. Relationship building, support and encourage others in both team and individual settings. Self-management, take responsibility and hold oneself accountable. And solution-oriented, so demonstrate flexibility and adaptability in response to change. So these are the main things that when we think about city or that we really look for in a core member. And not to say that you have to have all these skills mastered and you're coming in like, I have it all, but the willingness to grow in these areas, having that growth mindset about these areas, knowing like, hey, my solution-oriented self is not super great. And that's something that I really want to work on this year. So we're going to take some time real quick to think about which competency you'd like to grow in. So, you know, I'll go back, but let's take a few minutes to kind of think about that. And I would love to hear from a few of y'all just to share out like what are the areas you'd like to grow in, and I will start. So we'll go back here. An area that I would like to grow in is, I'll do self-management. I think that that's probably something that's really important, especially work from home roles and things like that. You have a lot to do, a lot going on. So it's an area that I would like to grow more in and to really like lean into more. And to take on responsibility and hold myself more accountable. Not to say that I don't, but that's something that I really want to improve upon and just continue to grow in that aspect. Is there anyone that would feel like they'd like to share something with the group? I would like to hear from maybe like 4 or 5 people. There's quite a few of you on the call. So if I can get a 4 or 5 share outs, that'd be wonderful.
I'd like to share.
I'll go too, if it's okay.
Sure, whoever wants to go first, just take the floor. It's going to be awkward. You'll cut each other off. It'll be fine. We'll figure it all out.
Okay. I like to work on growth mindset. I feel like I can work more on having an open mind. And I feel like that would be great working with City Year.
Awesome, thank you. We had some other folks that wanted to share.
I'll go. So I thought I'd work on relationship building. I am autistic and I have social anxiety. So that's something that that's a little bit of a struggle for me sometimes. And so it's something that I'd like to grow in and learn more about.
Awesome, I appreciate you sharing. Is there anyone else who wants to share? Oh yeah, perfect.
I think for me, I would like to work on solution oriented. Sometimes I honestly just don't know what to do. So I would really like to gain that.
Awesome. How about 2 more? Can I get 2 more people that'd like to share out?
I can go.
Yeah.
I also would like to work on growth mindset because I think for me, sometimes when I get feedback, it's easy to like take that in a negative way, but I need to work on using that to actually like as a positive and to use it to improve myself.
Awesome. And then 1 more person, please.
Sure.
Awesome, thank you.
I think I would want to work on cultural empathy. I just haven't really put enough situations or put myself in situations to be exposed, I feel like, to enough cultures. So I kind of just would like to have more exposure in that area. so I can grow as like a person.
Great, thanks. All right, we're gonna keep on moving unless does anyone else have something burning inside of them? They feel like they gotta say it, they gotta get it out.
I think I have.
Oh, go right ahead.
I think that the commitment to a cause greater than self would be something that I would need to work on, because I know a lot of times when I usually find things that I feel like can improve me as a person, and that's really more than I'm focused on. And then once I feel like I've improved, it's kind of like, okay, what's next? And not really thinking about what the job itself is offering to like the general public, to anyone else, or things like that.
Awesome, thanks for sharing. All right, skip through that. All right, so here's a little checklist for y'all. So if you want to even like take a picture of this or write it down, whatever that works for you. If you are good at memorizing things, I'm not that person, but you are great. So are you familiar with your strengths and areas of growth? Are you prepared to share your past, personal and professional experiences? Are you familiar with City Year's mission and have a clear understanding of what this service commitment is? And then do you have any questions prepared to ask during the interview? So at the end of the interview, there will be plenty of time for you to ask any questions. Most of you will interview with someone from your site. So you'll interview with someone who's currently working there, who will probably be able to answer really great questions. If not, they'll redirect you to one of us if it's questions they're not sure about. But thinking about asking what questions you'd want to know, what things you want to know, whether it's their personal experience working for the organization, or if it's, what is the day in a typical day look like? How long would I be at work? What is, those types of things, they're definitely more than welcome and encouraged to ask. And I'm going to throw it back to Lindsay.
Awesome. Thanks, Carly. So now we're going to be talking about what to expect next. All right, so your national admissions counselors who are in charge of interviews, they should have sent you an email to schedule your interview. If you haven't signed up for that, I highly, highly, highly suggest you go and sign up for that. I know from talking to some people who have tried to sign up that the calendar is full. So if you will reach out to your service year advisors, we'll handle that for you. And you'll get a list of that, of those service year advisors who is for each site at the end. So don't worry about that, just hang tight. Also, another important thing is your reference. We want to make sure that we get your recommendation in as soon as possible. We have on here that we need that in by February 5th. Why is that important? We look at that as well as your interview, and that's how we kind of determine on if you would be a good fit for City Year. So it is very important for you to get that in so that we can look through that. If you need help, if you need to change, if you need to figure out how to change your reference, if maybe they're not getting it in on time, again, reach out to your service year advisors. We're here to help you through anything. Notification. So you will be notified after you interview on February 19th. And then from then, you will have until March 5th to either accept or decline your notification. I forgot my word. So just be on the lookout for that after you interview. If you have any questions that come up after you've interviewed, again, reach out to your service year advisors. That's what we're here for. So Carly, you can move forward. All right, this is the information that I was talking about. Look, all of your service year advisors' names are here. If you look and you are going to Little Rock, you're going to want to be with Mandy Barrett. So take a quick look here. We can pull this up in a few minutes if anybody needs to go back. But find your service year advisor. Make sure that you have their email as well as their working hours, because we do want to be respectful of their hours and make sure that we're contacting them in a time that they'll be able to communicate back with us. I think after this is questions. So we can go ahead and open those up. Again, if you need us to go back